Welcome back. We left on a note wherein we merged our pull request. We got started with pulling our changes onto our local system. Then we got started with the pull request. We saw how we could uh, approve the pull request with suggestion. Once your pull requests are approved, you could merge it back to your master branch, and that's what we did. We created the pull request right over here. We approved it with suggestion with pull request. Since we were clicking it again and again, it had to had multiple history, and then we completed the pull request by merging it back to the master branch. Once you kind of done with it, you could always delete your branch. So you could go back to the branches option right over here. You've got your master branch, which you don't want to delete. However, since whenever you kind of merge back, it automatically deletes it. You could keep the branch intact as well and probably work on it again. But when you kind of complete the pull request, it automatically deletes it. This video is specifically when you're trying to import an existing repo. There could be chances that you have been working on GitHub, Bitbucket, GitLab as your source code repository, and you are migrating to Azure Devops. Or you probably have any other public repo or private repo which you want to migrate it to Azure DevOps. How do you do that? It's pretty simple. You click on the repository right over here. You start just beneath the new repository, click on the import repo and give the URL. So I've already opened my one of my public repo. I'm gonna go over here. You select the version of your repository, which is a Git or a Team Foundation version control, which is the on-premises version. If it doesn't require any authentication, just leave it as is, and then you kind of give the name of your repo and start importing it by clicking on the import, and this is gonna start uh, importing your repo basis on the size and how many branches you have, what were the size of the repo. It's been done within few seconds, and you see that your repo is now migrated into Azure DevOps within few seconds. If you go to the clone, you could clone it right over here as well. Just copy the URL, go to your Azure DevOps, probably go a little back, do a git clone, and you see that the repo has been successfully cloned. You've got two repos, and you could simply open it from here. Do we get to see over here? Let's just close what we don't need. My first repo, this is, if you go to the file and go to open, and if you go to the desktop and go to Azure, Power Jumpstart is the one. Open this particular folder. This is going to open a new branch, and all you see is the files which you have, and you could start editing it. Open the terminal, and you're on to the master branch. You could see what are the branches available. I believe we have only master branch, and that's what I generally work on. If you have anything to change, you could go back to the file, one of the file, and start making the changes right over here. You see that changes has been depicted. Push your changes, made a commit onto pipeline, hit on yes, and then you see that there's nothing to pull. The downward shows it's up to dated, but there's one to push. You could do a push right from here, and that's been pushed. If you do a git status, your branch is up to dated. Go over here, click on the history, and you see that just now you have pushed a changes. You could come back again and go to the history and see what has been done so far, just like we did it for our previous repo. Yeah, so that's how you could clone a new repo, any public repo. Just go over here, import, and if you were under two-factor authentication or using your company credential to log into GitHub, and your GitHub is not a public repo, which is highly likely to be the case, you click on the require authentication, click on the username or password, or the PAT token, personalized access token. You can get it from the settings section of your GitHub. Just feed in those password, keep it handy, and import it, and it's going to import it in within few seconds. And rest of the steps pretty much same as what we've done. You could always cut out a new branch right from the UI, um, or you could start making a pull request as well, merge it back, make the changes, uh, see the commits, pushes, the tags if you want to add, in case if working on a tagging strategy. And yeah, that's easy how it is to migrate your existing repos from any of the source code, GitLab, Bitbucket, GitHub, to Azure Devops and get started. I hope this migration strategy was informative for you, and in case you're looking for to migrate your existing repo to Azure DevOps, that's going to be helpful. That's it for now. I'll see you in a while. Thank you.